Maybe this sensation has unsettled you before. The bell rings. Someone wants to drop by, chat for a while, spend time. Yet inside you feel resistance, a subtle discomfort, an almost physical urge to say no. It's not that you dislike people or hold bitterness toward the world. In truth, you simply don't enjoy being visited. What you value most is your quiet home, your uninterrupted flow, your preserved energy. If this resonates, take a breath. Because here we'll explore something few openly admit. The deep, intimate and easily misunderstood unease felt by those who struggle when someone crosses their private space. You're not unfriendly or antisocial. Carl Jung, father of analytical psychology, suggested this reaction may reveal something essential within your nature. Today I'll share 6 insights from Jung that shed light on why some feel uneasy with visitors, and why that is not only natural, but can mark a meaningful inner process. Stay with me until the end, because if you've ever carried guilt about preferring solitude, you may realize this has more to do with your psychological growth than with a flaw. Before diving into Jung's insights, remember to like the video, subscribe, and comment. Do you also feel tense when someone knocks uninvited? I'd like to know if you see yourself here. Have you noticed how some people thrive in parties, gatherings, or home visits, while you feel drained even at the thought of hosting? Or maybe you enjoy conversations, nurture friendships, but as soon as someone asks to enter your home, a hidden part of you withdraws. It feels as though their mere presence siphons your energy. There is a reason for that. Carl Jung introduced the widely known words introvert and extrovert. But this isn't just about being shy or outgoing. Jung wasn't describing social habits. He was mapping the direction of psychic energy. The extrovert projects energy outward, fed by interaction, movement, stimulation. The external world strengthens them. The introvert works almost oppositely. They renew themselves within. Their source of energy is silence, reflection, solitude. When exposed too long to the external, long talks, surprise visits, noise, interruptions, their mind begins to shut down. Not from arrogance, but from psychological necessity. Here lies the key. Disliking visits isn't a social defect. It's the reflection of how your energy is built. If you lean toward introversion, and many do without even noticing, then your home is more than a shelter. It's a sanctuary, a cocoon where your energy regathers and your psyche restores balance. When someone steps into that space, even with goodwill, they stir invisible threads you've been weaving all day. Their presence pushes you to activate your persona, the social mask. In doing so, you drift from your real self. That is exhausting. Jung explained that introversion isn't a conscious preference but a soul's disposition. Fighting this inner pull leads only to conflict and fatigue. Some may say they're reserved, they don't enjoy company, but what most don't see is this. What looks like coldness or disinterest is often self-protection, a hidden shield, an unconscious boundary guarding the inner self. Jung described this dynamic as the shadow. The shadow is that hidden portion of you which you may never fully recognize, yet it quietly directs your emotions, your reactions, and your deepest unease. When someone enters your home, you're not simply opening the door, you're allowing them into a zone where your energy is purest but also most exposed. It's precisely here that the shadow awakens. Inside it lives everything you've pushed aside, traits you suppressed, fears buried, memories unresolved, and wounds never voiced. Picture this. The bell rings, you sit with your guest, begin to chat, and instead of relaxing, you feel uneasy. An odd tension grows and you can't explain it. Their voice, their behaviour, their presence may touch a blind corner in your psyche, something you haven't dared to confront, something rooted in the shadow. That's why Jung warned, what you fail to bring into consciousness returns as fate. At times that fate appears as discomfort, an innocent visit that suddenly provokes irritation, a sense of invasion, a near physical need to ask them to leave. It isn't arrogance, it's your unconscious guarding your inner integrity. But there's more. The shadow doesn't only store darkness, it shelters dormant powers, hidden skills, truths not yet embraced. Not yet. The more you live on the surface, adapting, staying polite, forcing social roles, the less oxygen your soul receives. If the idea of company overwhelms you, your shadow may be whispering, "Pay attention. You need silence, you need space, you need your own presence." Listening is an act of courage. That wave of relief when you finally return home, the door shuts, shoes come off, lungs fill deep, and you simply exist, carries meaning. For Jung, the house is more than architecture. It is a mirror of the soul. It shows your inner condition. A guest doesn't just step into a living room, they cross into sacred ground. Jung argued that symbols reveal us more deeply than words, and the house is one of the strongest symbols of the psyche. It reflects the self, the center where balance and healing unfold. Each space represents an aspect of you. The bedroom, your intimacy; the living room, your mask; the kitchen, your nourishment; the basement, your unconscious depths; the attic, your higher thoughts; and the front door. This is the line between you and the other. When crossed, the unconscious registers intrusion. It isn't only a body arriving, but a foreign energy heavy with stories, moods, and tension. If you are sensitive, introverted, or walking the path of individuation, the journey toward becoming yourself, this can be profoundly tiring. For Jung, the house was never a fortress against life, but an inner reflection. Peace at home signals harmony inside. Disruption from visits suggests your unconscious is whispering, "This soul is still under construction, not every door can open," and that is entirely fine. Protecting the home is protecting the self. In depth psychology, honoring boundaries is essential for healing and wholeness. Feeling guilty about preferring solitude doesn't mean you isolate. It means you defend the temple where your soul dwells. Have you ever forced a polite smile when inside you longed for quiet? Made coffee, chatted lightly, acted cheerful while thinking, "When will this end?" You feel harsh, ungrateful. Yet Jung provides clarity. This is the persona, the mask shown to society. It is the role you adapt to family, work, relationships, and even visits. The persona isn't false, but it is partial. It doesn't represent the totality of your being, just the acceptable fragment. The difficulty begins when you are obliged to wear that mask even at home, the very place meant for your true self. For individuals with a strong persona, often the introverted, sensitive, or highly observant, hosting visitors can feel utterly draining. Suddenly you must perform, pick words carefully, control expressions, manage the timing of talk, notice dishes left out, worry about light being too dim or too harsh. All of it consumes enormous psychic energy. Jung said, "The persona is needed. It lets us operate in society. But if we confuse the persona with our true self, the soul begins to cry." That may explain your resistance to visits. It's not dislike of people. It's the exhaustion of having to maintain a mask when all you crave is peace. Bare feet, silence, staring outside the window. Even worse, many spend years stuck inside their persona, even within their own homes. They host, smile, act polite, yet inside they are drained, restless, depleted. But depth psychology offers a liberating truth. You are entitled to be fully yourself in your own space. You may say no to visits, refuse invitations, allow yourself to be unavailable, because while pleasing others, you risk abandoning yourself. There are moments when solitude calls, not from sadness, but from the soul's hunger for silence. Yet society brands this antisocial. We glorify constant presence, activity, noise. Jung saw it otherwise. Withdrawal can be the first step of the most important path, the journey of individuation. Individuation is becoming who you truly are, not what society demands, not what parents projected, not the persona you carry, but the whole self, light and dark, conscious and unconscious, essence and truth. This does not unfold in noise but in retreat. Pause, stillness. That's why discomfort with visitors is not laziness. It is the soul shielding you, pushing away distraction so you can hear its whispers. There is something within you eager to rise, but it needs solitude to emerge. Jung was clear. Loneliness is not the absence of people, but the inability to express what matters. What could be more vital than listening to yourself? Yet that cannot happen amid chatter, with a guest who never leaves. Some seasons demand isolation, not escape, but immersion. You don't withdraw to vanish, you withdraw to return, clearer, stronger, more real. The outer world demands attention, duties, parties, obligations, while the inner world asks, wait, not yet, protect yourself first. Perhaps you've already felt it, that quiet relief when words finally name what you long sensed. The unease with visitors you judged a flaw is actually a deeper truth. If Jung himself sat beside you, eyes calm, he might say, "You're not wrong to crave solitude. You are simply listening to your soul's voice, and that is rare." So here are 6 insights from Jungian thought for those who prefer solitude, especially within their home. First, you're more sensitive to spaces than you know. The unconscious perceives what the conscious overlooks. Voices, gazes, silence, hidden tension, all weigh on you. A guest brings not just a body, but unresolved emotions and stories which you absorb as heaviness. Second, your psyche requires space. Jung saw introversion as essential for order. Silence realigns you, while even one visit may break fragile balance. Third, endless interaction alienates you from yourself. The true self only emerges in stillness. Courtesy and constant presence often means setting yourself aside. Fourth, another's presence may awaken your shadow, the storehouse of traumas, memories, unwanted traits. A casual comment may suddenly trigger irritation. Fifth, withdrawal may mark the sacred start of individuation. Individuation is listening inward, daring to stop pleasing the world and instead becoming who you are. Sixth, you're learning to honor yourself, saying no without guilt, closing the door without shame, respecting limits without feeling rude. Each smile you force abandons your essence. You've seen you cannot live this way anymore. It is time to honor your soul. Visualize an old man with a long beard, lantern in hand, moving alone through a dark night on a silent road. This enduring image of the hermit carries profound weight in Jungian thought. Jung described the hermit as an archetype, a primordial symbol, a universal force that lives in each of us, even when we fail to notice it. And yes, it connects directly to your desire to turn visitors away and protect your solitude. The hermit embodies the call to withdraw, to seek wisdom and self-knowledge. It is the impulse to shut the door and silence your phone, not to flee, but to listen to what stirs inside. The hermit belongs to silence because only in stillness does the brightest light appear. This figure does not stand for bleak isolation or pathology, but for courage. The willingness to face your shadows, doubts and fears, and through them uncover your own light. That flame cannot be given by anyone else. Only you can find it. To do so, the hermit needs a sacred retreat, often your own home. If you feel that powerful urge not to host guests, to remain in quiet, it may be your hermit speaking. He invites you to slow down, not to lose yourself in the world's clamour, but to return to your core. Jung taught that answering this inner summons is essential for mental and emotional health. Walking the hermit's path is also an act of resistance against the frantic tempo of society, shallow ties, and the endless pressure to be available and social. It is self-care of the highest form. So when someone asks why you prefer solitude, remember, the hermit within holds his lantern, reminding you that true light is born only after stepping into your own darkness, and it is entirely valid to need silence to rediscover yourself. Have you noticed how potent solitude becomes when it is embraced? It is not just about being alone, but what you do with that state. For Jung, the hermit was not a tragic figure or failed outcast. He is a guardian of inner wisdom. When you follow his call, your solitude transforms into a journey of growth. In that quiet, you find answers drowned by the noise of the world. There you can feel, think, and reflect without rush, and your soul begins to repair. You begin to recognize patterns, to integrate your shadow, to rediscover pieces of yourself hidden away. More than that, you develop a calm strength and inner confidence that no longer relies on external approval. For many, this path feels difficult because culture glorifies constant activity, networking, and presence. The hermit teaches that to truly show up for the world, you must first show up for yourself. That is the wisdom of solitude. Declining a visit and choosing quiet does not mean closing yourself off. You are preparing inwardly to meet others later with deeper authenticity. First with yourself, then with them. The hermit calls you to this transformation. If you feel that inner pull, you are already on the right path. Now that you have met the hermit within, a key question emerges. How do you balance the craving for solitude with the need for connection? Jung taught that a healthy life does not require denying the social or isolating completely, but creating a conscious dialogue between both poles. The hermit calls for silence, withdrawal, introspection. The outer world demands activity, engagement, participation. The art lies in respecting your boundaries without sealing yourself off, and not forcing social contact when you are not ready inside. It becomes a daily discipline of listening and communicating with clarity. In practice, that means shaping rituals that guard your quiet, choosing connections that truly nourish you, and granting yourself full permission to pause when your soul whispers that you must. Build rituals that defend your quiet. Reading, a solitary walk, or a morning routine carved out just for you. Then choose mindful moments to meet with people who truly nurture you and honour your space. At first, this balance feels hard, yet it becomes freeing. Above all, you owe no justification. Society may fail to grasp it, but your soul already knows. As Jung wrote, individuation means becoming true to yourself even when the world demands the opposite. Allow yourself this route. Honour the hermit within while also fostering bonds that uplift rather than deplete you. Then solitude no longer feels like a burden, but becomes a sacred ground for renewal. Sustaining this balance is rarely simple. The world is noisy, full of demands, and your inner critic may shame you for craving silence. But respecting boundaries is not selfish. It is deep self-care. First, learn to notice the signals: fatigue in the body, a scattered mind, a restless mood. These reveal your system needs rest. When they arise, slow down, even if it means cancelling plans or turning off your phone. Second, speak plainly. You don't need lengthy excuses. A simple, "I need time for myself today" is enough. Those who love you will understand, those who don't, let them be. Third, create a sanctuary, a cosy corner at home, a bench in the park, or a dawn ritual just for you. There you connect with your essence. Finally, treat yourself with kindness. Don't expect constant output or social readiness. You have the right to just be. Honouring solitude is honouring the soul itself, the path to becoming whole, as Jung taught. Perhaps now, near the close of this path, you feel something true has been stirred within you. That is the beauty of Jung's vision, the uniqueness of every soul. There is no fixed right way, only your way. If your way means staying home, away from noise and visits, it does not make you odd or unworthy. Individuation, becoming whole, also means embracing every part of yourself, even those society ignores. Respecting the call for retreat means protecting an essential part of your being. You don't need outside molds to find joy. Your home, your silence, your solitude. These are sacred grounds where your spirit renews and grows. In that private refuge, you will gather the strength to face the world with authenticity and calm. If one insight remains, let it be this: your way of being is valid. Your love of silence is a true voice of your soul, and it deserves respect, most of all from yourself. We have reached the end of this path, but in truth, it is only the beginning. Together we explored 6 truths from Jung, encountered the Hermit, and discovered how solitude can become a fountain of wisdom. Now look inward gently. Realize your wish for aloneness is not weakness, but proof of inner connection. Your boundaries are not selfish walls, but acts of care. In the stillness of your own space, you hold the chance to bloom each day, becoming more and more your real self.